Hello guys, I hope you are doing well today. My name is Enzen Charlemagne and this is my page, Life with Enzen. Welcome to my page guys. So today we are going to do part 3 of how I got trafficked. Hey! Welcome. Thank you so much for joining me live. Okay, so yesterday I already told you that these ladies directed me to the police station, and then I went to the police station. When I arrived at the police station, it was already very late. And at that time, the police were chilled. Some of them were sleeping in the sofas and in the police station furniture because they were actually waiting for the calls from the people who were getting robbed or people who had situations going on. There was no much people going to report physically at the police station because a lot of people were sleeping. So when I went there at that time alone, the police were quite shocked and they were asking me what's going on because they saw that I was very much terrified. It was written all over my face that I wasn't in a good space. So they wanted to know what happened to me. So I decided to tell them everything that happened. I told them how I was taken, how I was trafficked from Alice to Buffalo by this nigger who claimed that he had a place to rent for me, whereas he had none. But then he just wanted to traffic me. So I told them every single detail. I told them the whole story. And then after that, they asked me, so what can we do for you? Surprisingly, the police are the ones who are asking me, what can we do for you? Do you want to open a case? Or do you want us to take you to your own residence? But then, as I told you previously, the other two ladies who were trying to help me earlier on were actually mad because I didn't want to open a case. They didn't want to give me a choice. They were so judgmental on my decision of not going forward to open the case. But then the police were the ones who understood more of my situation and they gave me options. Do we open a case for you or do we just take you back to your university where you were taken by this guy? And then I told them no, I wouldn't love to open a case. I would love for you to just take me back to Alice. They said okay, it's not a problem for us, we are here for that, we are here to help you, we'll just take you back to the campus. And then they were asking me why you don't want to open a case anyway. They were not asking me like in a judgmental way, like you really have to open the case, but they were just trying to understand my reasoning and my perspective. Then I told them that I'm worried for my safety because I know that I don't have no guards, like security guards who will be always going around with me after the court date so that they can protect me, because these guys who are human traffickers, if you take them to court, usually they will just shoot you or kill you after tracing you so that they can just erase the entire evidence. So they understood very well. They were saying, okay, your point is very valid, by the way, very valid. So we just want you to sit on the chair and make yourself comfortable. Try to relax, don't be afraid. You're at the safe place now, so we will just bring you to the campus safe. They asked me, do I need any water? And then the other police was a female, so she also asked me, is it okay if she can make some tea for me or some coffee, since it was very cold and I was shaking. So I just told her that the hot water will do for me. and I really appreciated her kindness. So she just brought hot water for me. I drank that water, and then I sat on the chair. And then as I was sitting on the chair, I felt like, no man, I'm actually very tired. My body wants to sleep. My body just wants to rest. As we were waiting for the police van to come and then take me back to the campus. So I ended up, it was a bench chair anyway. It was not a small type of chair. So I ended up lying on that chair, just like every other police that was in the police station at that time. They were so relaxed. They were just lying on the benches. So I lied on the bench chair until I fell asleep for like, not for long, not for too long, for a few minutes. Maybe it could have been 10-15 minutes. And then after that, they wake me up. They told me, okay, we have the next available van now, and we have the driver who can drive you to the campus. So I said, okay, let's go. So I was introduced to this police officer, and then he told me that he's the one who's taking me to the campus. I said, okay. We went to the police van. After that, he asked me what happened. I told him the story over again because he wasn't there when I told the story initially. He was just briefed about what happened. Okay, there is a student from Alice. She's stranded in this police station, and she just needs a van to just go back to the campus. So after I gave him the whole story, he was also very understanding and very sympathetic, and he also respected my decision of not opening a criminal case against that guy. So he drove me to the campus. As he was driving me to the campus, he asked me, so it looks like you don't have no place in the campus where you can sleep for tonight. Then my mind started coming back now. I was feeling that, oh, the situation is very terrible. I knew it was terrible before, but then I kind of forgot that in the campus I don't have no place to sleep, since I was feeling kind of comfortable because we're going to safety. So I told him, I don't know, I'll figure something out when I get there. And then he drove me to the campus, and then when we reached the campus, he asked me, so the campus is very big, where do I drop you now? I told him, drive me to those other residences, and then I'll just see what to do when I get there. Then he drove me, and then when we arrived at those residences, I got off the police van. I told him that I appreciate his assistance very much in everything that they did for me at that police station, and then we say bye-bye, and then he left. I left. So when I arrived in this campus, in this residence, I went inside, and then I checked a few doors if they were open or not. I was hoping that maybe I might find a residence that's not occupied yet, although I knew at the back of my mind that chances for me were very slim at this time, because every other student was back from their homes to the campus to start their academic year. So I checked the few rooms, and then I saw that, okay, it looks like everything is locked. Actually, there's no open room for me that I can use for that specific moment, just to take a nap, and then in the morning I can see what to do with myself. So I decided to go to the passage, to the corridor, and then I sat on the steps because I didn't know anyone in that residence who could give me accommodation for the night. Then I sat there for some time, and then after I sat there for some time, I fell asleep on the passage of that residence. So there were those other women who were just playing, chasing each other on the corridor, and then they would wake me up because they were making some noise. I would wake up, I'd look at them, and then I'll go right back to sleep. Then I slept there for some time, and then after that the other one came to me and told me, we are noticing that you are stranded, you have no place to go to, we don't know your story and we don't know you, but then we'd like to invite you to our room to come and sleep and spend a night in our room. It's not a big room, it's a very, very small room. We have a lot of students already that were also stranded, but then we believe that we can share the little that we have. We can just squeeze each other together, if you don't mind, and then you can see what to do for the next following few days. And then I said, okay, I do appreciate their offer. It was actually a work of kindness. It was a work of humanity on their side, because they really, really didn't have any space. When the lady told me they don't have too much space, she was 100% correct. So we went to their room, and then when I arrived in their room, it was a very, very small room with more than 10 people. The bed was a single bed, and the bed was full. You know, there were maybe 4 people squeezing on that single bed, and then the floor was full as well. It's like you could barely walk on the floor because you had to skip those other ladies who were squeezing together on the floor and trying to sleep on the floor together. So when I arrived there, they asked me to just lie on the floor. They didn't even have blankets, because it's like all the blankets that were available were used. They were covering all those ladies at the bed, and then the other ladies on the floor. So they just put some clothes on the little space of the floor that was left, and then they told me I can just lie on those clothes, and then they will find something for me to cover myself as I sleep. Then there was a very, very small light fleece that they happened to have. The other lady actually was using it as an extra protection against the cold, and then they just decided to give me a little light fleece so that I can be able to at least cover myself and maybe become a little bit comfortable. But there was actually nothing comfortable about that room and about that space. So I lied down. They stopped playing all of a sudden. They just closed the door, and they told me, okay, if you would like to share your story with us, you can just tell us what happened to you and why were you sleeping at the corridor. And then I decided to share everything with them. I told them my whole story. I was very emotional whereas I was telling them this story. I was crying and telling my story. It was a very touchy situation for me. And also the fact that they took me from the corridor, it made me to be, I was appreciating everything that they did for me, but then I was also very uncomfortable and very shy. I felt like they took me off the streets and they brought me to that room off the streets. So it was making me to be very, very shy. But then I managed to finish my story, although there was pain as well. So they were very sympathetic, and they told me that they believe I made the best decision by not reporting this nigger who trafficked me, because I'm going to be studying in that campus for the next 3 years. So the nigger could be able to trace me, and he would have a lot of time to do something again to me if he would know my address, or he would be able to figure out where I stay, because maybe he sent some people to spy on me after I went to the court. So they were very understanding, very sympathetic, they had humanity, they were very kind. And then after that, they told me their stories as well. They introduced themselves. They told me where they were coming from and what program were they doing at this facility. And they also told me that there's actually one lady who owns the room, but then the lady have a big heart. The lady decided to accommodate the friends. Then the friends decided to accommodate the friends who didn't have no place to go to, and other stranded people. Basically, they couldn't stand the pain of looking at other people stranded without doing anything about the situation. Although they didn't have resources to help the people, but then they felt compelled that we have to do something. Okay, fast forward, we went to sleep. I fell asleep, they all fell asleep. Everybody went to sleep. And then we all waked up very early in the morning, maybe around 7. We waked up around 7. When I wake up, my bones were extremely painful because I didn't use a mattress to sleep. There was no mattress underneath me, my body. So it's like it was my bones against the concrete floor. And you know how cold the concrete floor can be. I felt like I had arthritis. My bones are painful. It was difficult for me to even stretch myself, stretch my arms. It was difficult to stretch my legs. So they made breakfast. We talked a little bit. After that, I had to leave their space. I told them that I do appreciate everything that they did for me, and then I left. I went to the sun actually, so that I can warm up my body because I was feeling extremely cold and every bone was painful. Even my teeth were painful. I was feeling cold in the teeth. Have you ever felt so cold such that even your teeth are feeling that it's cold? You feel like your teeth are also freezing. You feel like there's an ice that is put against your teeth. That was the situation there. So when I went to the sun, I got warmer, and then I went to the computer laboratory just to push the day, until I figured out where I was gonna sleep for the next night. So fast forward, okay, to the time whereby I actually got my own residence at the university. It was very hard for me to get my own residence at the university. But then after so many struggles, after so many tears, after so many prayers, at the end of the day, I ended up getting one, and this is how I got accommodation at the institution. I went to the residence offices. I told them that I needed a place to stay. I didn't have a place to stay, but then I was a registered student, and then my home is very far away. I cannot be able to maneuver the distance. I just need to stay in the campus. And then they told me, no, we've been telling you that we don't have no space for you. We won't give you accommodation for this year. You can apply for next year. And the reason why we won't accommodate you for this year is because you applied for residence, but then on the different campus. You didn't apply with this specific campus. And I didn't know that I was going to change the programs. That's why I didn't put my application for that campus specifically. I put my applications for the residence in East London. So they were telling me that's the problem. And they've been telling me that every single day, ever since I started going to the office. So now I just decided that, okay, I will get this residence whether I applied for it or I didn't apply. And then I just have to change the strategy now for me to get a place to stay, because I'm tired of suffering. and this thing must come to the end as soon as possible. So I asked my friend who actually applied for the residence in that specific campus. I asked her, do you still have your proof of application for the residence? And then she told me, oh yes, I do have the proof of accommodation. And then I told her to give me her proof of application. She gave me a proof of application, and then after that I scanned it. Yes, I scanned that proof of application, and then after that I edited it. I erased all her names, her student numbers, and everything that have to do with her, and then I put all my names in that scanned proof of accommodation. And then after I faked my own proof of application, I just decided to go back to the office. But then I was so anxious because I knew that I've been going to this office ever since we opened at Varsity. So I was so concerned that they will recognize my face, that it's actually you who have been coming to the offices. And then we know that you didn't apply for it. You've been telling us you never applied. But then now you are coming with the evidence that you applied for it. And I knew that they would maybe open a case of a fraud or something for me, because the document wasn't authentic. It's something that I created by myself based on the original document. I just looked at how it looked, and then I just made my own thing out of the original. So I knew that it was a huge risk that I was taking, but then I was willing to take it because I was just tired of suffering. I was tired of crying. I knew I had to do something for myself to get myself out of the situation. So I had a plan, and my plan now was that, okay, next time when you go to those residential offices, you will go as a slave queen now. You won't go with your natural face. You will just change your whole appearance. You'll just put on too much makeup, maybe change the way you speak differently, like you're somebody different, and wear shades as well. Just wear your sunglasses, and yes, just slay when you go there. Don't go like a normal student. So I put on too much makeup, then I put on the shades, too much lipstick, and then I tried to speak differently when I arrived there. And then I was also praying in my heart that, Lord, I don't want these people to discover what am I doing now, because if they discover what I'm doing now, they might just maybe expel me from Varsity, open a case against me, and all of that. I don't want that unnecessary drama. I don't want to be excluded academically because I wanted a place to stay. It's just an act of desperation on my side. Otherwise, I'm not a criminal. I'm not a criminal, and I'm a law-abiding citizen. So I dressed up. I went to the office, and then I also told myself that if they happen to ask me or to recognize me, I would just deny it and say that it's actually my first time coming here. I've never been to this office before. I probably looks like somebody that you know, or maybe it's my cousin, because I have a cousin who's also a student in this campus. So you just got the wrong person. I applied, you know. So when I entered that residential office, I told them that I just finished registering for this academic year, and I want a place to stay. I want a residence within the premises of the university. So they asked me, okay, cool, did you apply for it last year? I said, yes, I did apply. They said, okay, give us a proof. I took my proof out. I was so afraid, you know, but then I was trying by all means to smile and keep cool so that I don't raise suspicions. So I smiled, I kept cool, I took out that proof, and then I handed it to the lady. I said, put it on the table. I said, okay, here's the proof. I applied. She said, okay, we can see that you applied. She paused before she said that. She paused. And then she looked at me. And then when she paused, she kept quiet and she looked at me. My heart started pounding. Boom, boom, boom. In my heart, I was like, okay, I got caught. Like, she can recognize me from the previous days. Then I started praying again, and then I kept cool. I continued to smile. I just decided not to change my facial expressions because I didn't want her to know that, or to notice that there's something suspicious. I'm lying when I'm saying that I applied. I didn't apply for the res. So I kept on smiling. Then I continued to look at her like this. Okay, she took it. She said, okay, we can see that you applied. Give us a moment. And then she went to her computer. And then after that, she was looking at the system. She have my proof of application. She looked at the system. At the system, she's not finding anything. My name is not there. She doesn't find anything that said I applied. And then she said, but we can't see you on the system. What's going on with the system? Maybe this. And then before I could say anything, because I didn't know what to tell her what's going on with her system. She said to me, okay, maybe the system is down, or maybe since it's been many weeks after registration, maybe they just erase all the information on the system. That's why I cannot find you. But okay, you have the proof here. Let me try to see if I can find any place suitable for you. Phew. After that, I was so happy. I felt so grateful that, okay, finally, looks like I'm getting it and I'm not getting caught, which was absolutely amazing. Okay, so then she told me, okay, we will allocate you at the prefabs. We have some space at the prefabs. The prefabs is the building that is made out of planks. You know, it's not the brick ones. They had actually 6 prefabs at the campus, and those prefabs were very cheaper than the other residences that were made from bricks. So she told me, we'll put you at the prefabs because we don't have no space in the good buildings. Unfortunately, we've finished with the allocations. Many students are occupying those spaces. So I was like, okay, cool. I don't see anything wrong with that. You can just place me wherever. Prefabs, I'll take it. I just want a place to stay for right now. And then if maybe during the course of the year there's a student that decided to deregister in the program and they cancel their res, and then you can just place me in their room if they happen to discontinue with their academics. I'll just keep on checking if you have any students deregistering, because apparently at the university many students would register at the beginning of the year and then they'll decide to change their minds. They would just decide to deregister. When they deregister for that academic year, they also cancel their res. So I was hoping that I would actually get space. She told me the only problem with the prefabs is that they don't have no toilets. There are no bathrooms. So if you want to use the toilets, you'll have to go to the next building, next residence that is very close by. And then in my head I was like, hey, this lady doesn't know what I've been through. If she could have known, she could have felt my gratitude and how happy I was that I was actually getting a space. It doesn't matter if it had a toilet or it didn't have no toilet. What I knew is that I would just use the bucket system. I'll just use the bucket system to pee at night, and then in the morning I'll just go to those residential places to empty it. And that's what actually happened for the rest of the year, because unfortunately no student deregistered. If they deregistered, they just gave the rooms to the other students and they didn't give the rooms to me. I kept on checking for updates if there's any other room available, and I didn't find any, unfortunately. But then I was so grateful to God. I was so grateful that I finally got a place. It didn't matter if it had a toilet or it didn't have a toilet. It didn't even have a kitchen. I had to buy my own little stove and cook in my room. Yes, I bought my stove. I was cooking in my room. I was using the bucket system. Even my roommate was using the bucket system. So that is how I got the residence at the university after I was trafficked by that nigga. Yeah. Then I know, guys, some of you here are South Africans and you'll maybe be very excited that you can find something against me. And maybe you can just go to that specific university and like report what I did in that specific year. Well, if that's your plan, then all the best. All the best with that, because there are actually many people who are doing serious crimes within South Africa, and they are staying there full time. There's nothing that happens to them. All the best for the police with opening a criminal case against somebody who left South Africa and have been living overseas since 2018. Yeah, by the way, I'm joking, guys. I know none of you would be able to do that to me. In fact, you don't wish anything bad to happen to me. So I know you love me. I love you too. You don't have any bad intentions, especially my followers. But then, you know, if you put something on the internet, I can put this video here today. It could go viral to other strangers who could be excited. Okay, let's just go report the corruption case that happened in 2013 that was never reported at that university. Okay. Yeah, so that's it for today, guys. Actually, I don't have anything more to say for this part 3, but then stay tuned because part 4 is coming. Part 4 is very exciting. You see, the sad story ends today. Okay, there will be no longer sadness, there will be no sympathy, there will be like nothing to be said about. Part 4 is about how my friend secretly made money out of my story when he realized what happened to me. I don't want to tell you like everything that happened now, but then it's very interesting. He secretly made a lot of money out of everything that happened to me. But then I wasn't mad at him. I'll tell you more details tomorrow. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I love you so much. Bye bye.